Obviously, very serious news from overnight with North Korea detonating that nuclear bomb. Your thoughts about that?
Well, first of all, this is not something to be at all taken lightly. This guy's a madman, Kim Jong-un. He's someone that just has now detonated a nuclear bomb that is has 7 times the amount of nuclear material than we saw in Hiroshima. He literally has killed his uncle. He has killed his half-brother. And that is why our United States of America Diplomatic Corps and everyone must be on alert. And I think the other thing we have to remember, there's some people that have talked about preemptively going in there with a military strike. Most people believe he would then retaliate against South Korea, could kill 10 million people if he did that easily. And so that's why so many of us are still focused, as is the Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, on trying to keep the diplomatic channels open, particularly working with China. 90% of the trade from North Korea goes through China. So China is a major player here economically that is in a unique position to negotiate something.
All right, let's talk, though, about the president's rhetoric. We heard that sound from earlier last month. Fire and fury if there was any kind of provocative act by North Korea. If this isn't provocative, I don't know what is. This morning on Twitter, the president going on a number of tweets saying they only understand one thing. What about that rhetoric?
Well, he has been employing this rhetoric for quite a while, and I think the people in his administration seem to be taking a different tact, his military people taking this very seriously, as we do. But the question is, does this create any kind of help in getting them to stop? And it doesn't appear to be doing that. Sometimes you think you have a good guy, bad guy, and it could be making it worse. I can't really assess that yet until I get a briefing, but I am concerned that it just gets the guy going. President Obama, while he did not solve this problem, took a different tact in terms of ignoring a lot of what he did. But we continue to see this military buildup. And to me, it means there must be some way with our allies that we work out some kind of negotiated solution here. Because you can't completely ignore it and put your head in the sand when this guy is escalating by the month. But I am not certain at all that these kinds of threats that then in the past when he said fire and fury that he didn't meet is what's going to help here.
All right, and just quickly, one more question on North Korea. The president on Twitter scolding both China and South Korea. There's a possibility that the U.S., the president may pull us out of a trade agreement with South Korea. Is that the right response?
I don't think so, because I think that we must stick with our allies here. South Korea is the most vulnerable of any country. They've been living with this threat of this madman right across their border. And while we may have differences with them, I think the last thing we want to do is send the message to the rest of the world that we're abandoning an economic relation with one of our key allies, South Korea.
All right.